Welcome to Toro NSN's Training in 10, an innovative, self-paced training module that allows you to get trained and get going. Today's topic is an overview of manual irrigation in the Lynx Central Control System. While this presentation is demonstrated in Lynx version 5.0, the principles apply to all versions of Lynx. Covered in this Training in 10 is a description of what operations can be performed manually from your Lynx Central Control System. How to select items for manual operation via hardware address, or by program or stations, or switches, or selecting using the map. Next, we will cover Lynx map animation and what it means, an explanation of limited flow management in manual irrigation compared to fully flow managed in automatic irrigation, a view of manual irrigation logged into the course report, and other training opportunities that will help you become a better manager of your Toro Lynx Central Control System. The manual irrigation screen is located in the daily operation folder just below the course report screen. On the top right hand side of this screen are the various operations that you can do in manual irrigation from Lynx. They are run or turn on irrigation, pause currently running irrigation, put a station on hold permanently or for a duration of days, stop irrigation, resume irrigation that has been placed on pause, and remove a hold from a station. All of these operations can be done to a various list of stations, and you can see those choices here on the top left-hand side of your screen. The list of ways that we can select a station is by hardware address, by program or area, or select a switch to turn on manually. If we use hardware address, we come over here to our group and we use the plus sign, the dynamic drill down, to drill into our list of satellites. If we drill into satellite 2, and we drill into the list of stations in that satellite, we can put a check in the box to select a station. Let's select station 4, surround station 3, approach station 1. By putting a check in the box on our selection side, you notice down in the map they start to flash green. That also brightens up the green arrow here in the middle. It says Add Checked Objects to Selected Operations List. I use that green arrow to slide them over from the selection side to the selected list. Now down in the map, those stations flash white. Once the stations are on the selected list, I come up to the operations. I want to run those stations. I set my time, and I come down and press Send. Lynx is prepping those stations and sending them out to the field. I also can select stations via program or area. By clicking on programs, I see a list of all my programs and any instant programs that I have built. This will probably be the most common way that you will select stations. If I want to turn some stations on a T, I drill into my T's, I drill into the hole, and I put a check in the box. I can also put a check in the box if I want to select all the stations on 3T. I use the green arrow to slide them over to the selected list. And as we did last time, once the stations are on the selected side, you don't have to do anything more other than choose your operation and your time. The purpose of the box on the selected side is if there's a station that you've moved over that you actually want to remove from the list. By putting a check in the box there, I can use the bottom green arrow and return it back over to the selection list. Now it will not get turned on. We stated before how we can also put stations on hold. Let's say these stations here we want to put on hold. We could put a check in the box if we wanted it permanent, meaning we would have to come back and take the hold off, or you can set it for a duration of days. I'm going to set these for 3 days. I want them to be on hold and not to run with my system. Come down and hit send. I also can come up and turn on a switch. By selecting switches, it shows the switches that I've built in my system. I may want to turn on my clubhouse lighting manually, so I can go over to the clubhouse and check to see if there's any bulbs burned out. I put a check in the box, I slide it over, I select my number of minutes, and I hit send. You now notice animation on my map. If I zoom into my map, Stations on hold or suspend are flashing yellow. Stations that are irrigating have the blue pie, and there's a blue radiating dot coming out from the satellite that is running those stations. If I right-click on that satellite, it shows me Group 1, Satellite 2, and the stations that it's currently running. If I right-click on a station, it shows me the amount of automatic time and the amount of manual time. We have a Training in 10 video on the map if you'd like more information regarding that topic. Speaking of the map, I can also select stations from the map for manual irrigation. If I want to select stations one at a time, I just come over and single left mouse click on that station. That station starts to flash white, and it loads it up into my selected list. I can select another station, and it'll load that individual station. If I want to choose a group of stations, let's zoom in here. This area over here is dry, and I want to turn on a group of stations. I come down to my Tools drop-down. I select Polygon Select, and I single mouse click to set the corner points of my polygon. As I select all the stations that I want to choose, I double click to close the polygon. All 5 of those stations are selected, and they're now moved up into my selected list. I come up to my operation. I want to run them for 10 minutes, and I hit send. Those stations are now being sent out to the field for operation. If I come back down here to the map, I could select all the stations on number 1 green. Come down to Polygon Select, draw a polygon around 1 green, single clicking to set my corner points, double clicking to close the polygon. All of my greens heads and surround heads are brought up into the selected list. This is a good example on how you may want to move stations back over to the selection list. I could put a check in the box and use my green arrow to slide them from the selected list on the right back to the selection list on the left. I choose the operation that I want to run them for 10 minutes, and I hit send. Let's use our revert back button here on the map and go back to 1 green. This is a good time to look at how Lynx flow manages manual irrigation. You notice on 1 green only 3 heads came on, even though I had selected all 6 heads from around that green. This is because in manual irrigation ran from the central computer, Lynx uses limited flow management to control the operation of these stations. Here you see when we turned on all the greens heads on number 1 green, 3 stations came on and 3 did not. That is because limited flow management is doing its job. Limited flow management means when you turn on a group of stations manually, Lynx will make a schedule for those stations, and it will not exceed any of the hydraulic limitations of the pipe that it is attached to. Let's take a look at what we mean by this. First, we said Lynx makes a schedule when you turn on multiple stations manually. Here in the Daily Operations folder and the Scheduled Activities screen, if I choose Display Manual Irrigation, then we see the schedule Lynx has created for our number 1 green. Stations 1, 2, and 3 will come on at the same time. Once they finish their 10-minute runtime and shut off, then stations 4, 5, and 6 will come on. This schedule is created from the available hydraulics or gallons per minute you have assigned to the pipe. In the Advanced Setup folder and the hydraulics screen, you can see we have a very basic hydraulic tree with a pump station producing 1,200 gallons per minute, and each hole has been assigned 133 gallons per minute. If I look at the green stations on hole number 1 in my hydraulics, I see each station has a flow of 39 gallons per minute. Doing the math, if Lynx turns on 4 greens heads at 39 gallons per minute, that would equal 156 gallons, and we only have 133 on that pipe or hydraulic link. If Lynx turns on 3 greens heads at 39 gallons per minute, then it would equal 117 gallons per minute, which is below our 133 gallon limitation we gave it. This is why only 3 heads are coming on at a time. Limited flow management applies to manual irrigation ran from the central computer, NSN Connect, Lynx Mobile, and all the Lynx apps. These forms of manual irrigation all go through the Lynx central computer and are limited flow management. Limited flow management means that Lynx will not exceed the gallons per minute of the pipe those stations are assigned to. The difference with this when compared to your automatic irrigation that Lynx runs from programs being started in the watering plan is that automatic irrigation is what we call fully flow managed. Lynx looks at 3 different resources for limitation in full flow management. 1 is still the available gallons per minute in the hydraulics. 2 is the number of simultaneous stations assigned in the control system that tells Lynx how many stations it can turn on in each satellite. And 3 is the amperage assigned to each satellite in the control system. So in summary, during automatic irrigation, Lynx uses all 3 factors of hydraulics, simultaneous stations, and amperage to determine how many stations can be turned on. With manual irrigation that goes through the central computer, Lynx only uses the gallons per minute in the hydraulics for the pipe that station is attached to as the limiting factor as to how many stations can be turned on. The reason I emphasize manual irrigation through the central computer is because with some platforms, irrigation turned on with the handheld radio does not go through the central. And in that situation, commands from a handheld radio are limited by the simultaneous stations set for the satellite and not the hydraulics or amperage. With radio-controlled manual irrigation, you as the operator are in charge of the hydraulic limitations and how much you can turn on. It is important to understand how this limited flow management works and understand why certain heads are coming on and others are not in manual irrigation. Also, it is very important to understand limited flow management is done by each individual command. It does not consider anything already running either automatically or by a previous manual command. For more information about this flow management, please call Toro NSN at 1-800-676-8676. One very nice feature about manual irrigation in Lynx is that this information is tracked and logged into the course report so it can be reviewed later. Here we see our course report. We have our columns for automatic irrigation that has ran during our last cycle and the columns for manual irrigation that is currently running or has ran today. All manual irrigation that goes through Lynx will be logged into this manual column, along with certain satellites that have two-way communication, like the Lynx Smart Satellite and the VP Satellite. Lynx will pull the satellite at the top of the even hour, meaning every 2 hours, to see if an irrigation has been ran manually from the faceplate of that satellite. Please see our full Training in 10 video about the course report for more information on this topic. This manual irrigation information could be very valuable to you to review each day and influence your decisions before you program your irrigation for the next automatic cycle. Well, another 10 minutes have gone by and you've just completed another episode of NSN's Training in 10. Today's topic has been manual irrigation. We hope that this Training in 10 lesson was helpful for you to better understand this helpful tool and that it helps further enhance your career working with the #1 irrigation central control product available, the Toro Lynx Central Control System. Be sure to keep looking for future installments of NSN's Training in 10, the self-paced training module that allows you to get trained and get going. If you have any questions about this or about future training module releases, or if you would like to participate in one of our acclaimed Toro Lynx regional training classes, please contact us by calling 888-676-8676, option 2. Once again, that's 888-676-8676, option 2. Toro NSN Training also invites you to follow us on our Twitter site so that you can get the latest updates on where we are, what we are doing, and new training opportunities for you to participate in. You can find us at twitter.com/@Toro NSN Training and send a request to follow us. A service offered by Toro NSN Training, NSN Focus Training, personalized irrigation software training with 2 options: online, 1 to 2 hour blocks, topic specific, all done on the web, or in person, half or full day, addressing multiple topics at your facility, Again, if you're interested, give us a call at 888-676-8676, option 2. Toro and Toro's National Support Network. Count on it.